Okay, let's be honest. Are you tired of typing the same instructions into Gemini every single time? You know the drill. Act as my marketing assistant, use my specific brand voice, here are my guidelines, again. You are literally wasting time re-explaining yourself in every single chat. Well, in this explainer, we are diving deep into the solution. They're called Gemini Gems.
Yeah, that probably sounds familiar, right? It's that constant feeling of starting from scratch, teaching your AI the same rules for what feels like the 10th time this week. It's frustrating. And it might not seem like a big deal, but that little bit of friction adds up. It completely breaks your workflow and just slows you down. But what if? What if your AI already knew everything about your project, your brand, or your goals the moment you opened a new chat? Well, say hello to your custom AI expert. This feature is called a gem, and trust me, it is so much more than just a saved prompt. It lets you build your very own specialized AI. So think of a gem like your own personal, customized version of Gemini. You give it a name, you give it a detailed set of instructions, and from that point on, it becomes a pre-trained expert for that specific task. It remembers your persona, it remembers your rules, and it even remembers the data from files you upload. So how does this magic actually work under the hood? Well, when you start a chat with your gem, it preloads all of your instructions and files before you even type a single word. It automatically injects all that custom context. You can even pre-assign tools like deep research, and it all syncs perfectly between your devices. Now, a quick note for all you developers out there, this is currently a UI-only feature. There's no public API access yet. Okay, so who is this actually for? Who's using GEMS and why? The short answer? Pretty much anyone who has a task they have to do over and over again. The use cases span almost every industry, so let's look at a few killer examples. In the business world, GEMS are an absolute game changer. I'm talking about marketing teams building GEMS to analyze customer data right from a spreadsheet, or HR teams uploading their company's interview guides to instantly get tailored questions for every candidate. And this isn't just a theory. People are doing this right now. And for all you technical and creative pros, the applications are just as powerful. If you're a developer, imagine uploading your team's style guide to create a coding assistant that makes sure everyone's following best practices. And for content creators, it is perfect for maintaining that consistent brand voice across all your blogs, newsletters, and social media. But it doesn't stop there. This extends all the way to education and even your personal life. Teachers are using GEMS to generate lesson plans that are perfectly aligned with their district standards. One district even uploaded all its policy documents just to make them instantly searchable. And for you, think of a recipe finder that already knows all your dietary restrictions, or a personal travel planner that knows your budget. All right, so you get the why. Now let's get into the how. I'm going to walk you through creating your very own gem, and you'll see just how fast it is. We're talking less than 5 minutes. Okay, it's a super simple 6-step process. You'll start in Gemini, give your gem a clear descriptive name, and seriously, this is really important once you have a bunch of them. And then you'll write your instructions. Now the key here is to test it out in that preview panel on the right side before you save it. If you need it to know specific stuff, you'll add your files. Once you're happy with how it's working, just hit save. That's it. Now listen up, because this is the most crucial part for writing amazing instructions. It's a framework called the 4 pillars. First, you've got persona. Who is this AI? Is it a senior strategist, a friendly, encouraging coach? Second, the task. What exactly does it do? Third is context. What are the rules, the constraints, things like tone or word count? And finally, format. What should the output look like? Paragraphs? Bullet points? Maybe a table? Nailing these 4 pillars is the secret sauce to a great gem. Okay, so building a basic gem is easy, but building one that becomes an absolutely essential part of your workflow, that takes a little more strategy. So let's cover some pro tips. First off, you need to be ridiculously specific in your instructions. Vague instructions get you vague results. So instead of just writing, be friendly, try something like, act as a witty, encouraging coach who uses emojis. See the difference? Second, test relentlessly in that preview panel. Find the edge cases. Third, be strategic with your files. Don't just dump 100 documents in there. And finally, treat your gems like living tools. Your projects evolve, so your gems should too. Update them. And here's a really cool part. Gems aren't just for you. They're built for collaboration. You can share them with your team or your clients. The difference is simple. A viewer can use the gem, but they can't see or change the instructions. An editor has full control. They can see and modify everything, just like when you share a Google Doc. Okay, and this is a super important warning, so please pay attention. When you share a gem, you are also sharing its instructions and any files you've uploaded, so you have to be extremely careful with your access controls. Never, ever share a gem publicly if it contains any proprietary or sensitive information.
All right, now that you've got the fundamentals down, let's talk about some really cool advanced stuff you can do, as well as a few practical limitations you should probably keep in mind.
This is where you can get really creative. You can actually chain gems together. So you might use one gem to refine a research question, and then feed that output into a second gem that's built to actually write the code or the content. You could also combine them with other Gemini features, like image generation or deep research, all in one session. And for teams, you can co-create a gem, which is a fantastic way to combine everyone's expertise.
Now, of course, what you can do depends on your plan. The free plan is a great way to get started, but the paid tiers like Google AI Plus and Pro offer much larger context windows. That's basically how much information the AI can remember at once and way more daily prompts. Plus, you get access to powerful features like deep research and code assist.
Here's one key constraint you need to remember: the number of files you can upload. You are limited to a maximum of 10 files for any single gem. That means you've got to be strategic about the knowledge you give it. So just to recap the main limitations to be aware of, there's that 10-file maximum, no public API access for now, and they don't yet work with the live voice mode. And probably the most important caveat for any AI tool, gems can still make mistakes or hallucinate. So please always verify any critical information they give you.
Look, gems are one of the most powerful and seriously underutilized features in the entire Gemini ecosystem. They let you build a personalized AI assistant that finally remembers who you are and what you need. So the only question left is, now that you know the secret, what custom AI expert are you going to build first?